ToyTractorTimes.com is with Leroy Forrester here at the 2012 National Farm Toy Show in Dyersville, Iowa. And Leroy has come from South Carolina, has a great collection of large tractors to show.
Most of the tractors here, are all the tractors that are here, come out of South Africa. Either in castings that needed to be put together and painted, or the ones that Cyril Bigley had already finished off. And due to shipping and stuff onto them, sometimes you have to clean them up and repaint them.
And this is the casting over here?
Yeah, and those are the rough castings that come out of South Africa, which, to my opinion, are pretty good castings from Sand Castings. Now, the cab was from the United States wide, and it's a poor casting because you got to go back into it and re-weld and finish up a lot of defects. Cyril, he does good quality work on them. But most of the tractors that come out of South Africa that Cyril does are completed from casting, sanding, grinding, all the way up to the paint job onto them.
So which models do you have here on display today? And these are ones that you've put together and painted and built?
These are the Wagner tractors and the Big Bud tractors that Cyril produces. And like I say, the castings on both of them are real good. And Cyril, I order them without the tires on. Cyril's got South African tires that he can send with him, but that's added weight to them. And the tires are not quite to scale and quite as good as what we get from Dakota Toys. This Bud Light tractor, a lot of people think it's a farce, but it's really one that Ron Harmon has redone. It was a Wagner tractor, and he repowered it, restyled it, and it's basically the same way that Wagner come out with it. But he turned around and painted it white, and it's lighter than the Big Bud tractors, and that's why they turn around and put Bud Light on it.
That's a neat model. And then you've got a WA9 here?
Right. And like I say, either one of these tractors was interchangeable when Wagner was building them. You could tell when they started streamlining them a little and putting the square bumpers on the front end of them and make them a little bit more heavier.
You can definitely see from this one with a nice square, and this one's a little more rounded out on the bumper. And then we've got the second largest tractor in the world, the Big Bud 740, which are out in Bakersfield, California.
Right. And Cyril, on these tractors, he only built 51 of each one. And they're pretty well wanted by collectors. But most of his tractors, when he gets through with them, for sand castings, are pretty well done up tractors.
And then our last model is the 650-50, which is another Big Bud, impressive with a dual exhaust. And
what's another thing on Cyril's on the 650-50s versus another one that was made in the United States, the motor was a little bit different, along with the framing onto it. The motor had a little bit more detail. It had a radiator, it had a fan onto it, had your hoses and stuff like that went over to your muffler.
I think we can see that a little bit here on the 740. We can see the fan blade. Well, thank you very much for the tour of the tractors, and congratulations on placing second this year at the National. I know for a four-wheel drive fan, it's nice to have a gold Tiger.
Well, thank you. But most all your tractors on sand casting are mostly just a seat, your dashboard, your steering wheel. They're not quite as detailed or as quite finesse, if you want to call it that, is what Ertl's tractors are, because they're a big tractor and they're sand castings.
Well, they certainly still make a nice collectible, and if you only have 51, that makes it very rare in our hobby.
Does.
Well, thank you very much, and look forward to see what other four-wheel drives you come up with.
Well, somebody is asked me this morning, he said, have you thought about building a staggered 1/8 scale? And I said, well, I saw it in Toy Farmer. This guy built staggered, and he had it sitting in his kitchen, and when you looked out the window, he had the real thing sitting out in his driveway. And it was, I believe it was a 1400.
That'd be right, CP 1400.
And I thought he'd done an outstanding job on that one, and this guy had asked me, I thought maybe he asked me because he wanted one of them, so I'm just thinking about it, see what we can do with it.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you,
Yep.
Jason, really appreciate it.